Today, California's Attorney General has released a first-of-its-kind gun violence prevention report.
Of our nation-leading common sense, data-driven gun laws and prevention policies that are intentional.
Let's look at the exempted list. You guys might want to get out the bill and check this. It exempts
years, nearly 140,000 Americans who have died from gun violence would still be with us.
California's attack weapons ban. Hey there folks, big news on the gun control front. The U.S. Appeals Court has given a big thumbs up to California's attack weapons ban. What does that mean? Well, it means the ban on certain military-style firearms is staying put, and it's making gun control advocates across the state breathe a sigh of relief. So here's the big deal. A lower court, U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez in San Diego, had thrown a curveball by declaring California's 30-year-old attack weapons ban unconstitutional. That caused quite a stir, as you can imagine. But now, the U.S. Appeals Court has stepped in to say, hold your horses. They've decided that the ban should remain in force while the state's Attorney General works on appealing the lower court's ruling. This decision is like a roller coaster ride for those following the gun control debate. You've got a judge in one corner saying the ban is a no-go, and then a panel of judges in the appeals court stepping in to say, not so fast, buddy. It's the legal system at its finest. Or maybe it's most confounding. The state's Attorney General, Rob Bonta, is on a mission to uphold the ban. He's appealing the lower court's ruling, and he's doing it with gusto. He's arguing that attack weapons should not be freely available to the public, and he's not alone in that sentiment. He's got support from those who believe in the stricter gun control laws.
Today, California's Attorney General has released a first-of-its-kind gun violence prevention report.
KTLA Vice Pedro Rivera.
I live very close to Highland Park, Illinois, and I have heard from literally...
Formed Office of Gun Violence Prevention released its first data findings. They claim the report helps highlight the policies that
allow current law-abiding gun owners to keep all of their guns.
Trajectory of where we've been and to end the gun violence epidemic.
That we have and passed an assault weapons ban today. Today's vote.
This decision is a victory for those in favor of maintaining stricter gun control measures, but it's also part of a bigger debate. The whole issue revolves around the Second Amendment, which gives Americans the right to keep and bear arms. The argument is whether this ban infringes on that constitutional right. One thing's for sure, this isn't the last we've heard of this debate. The legal battle will continue, and it's a hot topic that's been smoldering for years. California's been a trailblazer in the gun control movement since it became the first state in the US to ban attack weapons back in 1989, following a tragic school mass slaying. The law has only gotten stricter since then. So, while this US Appeal Court decision might feel like a win for those supporting the ban, the battle rages on. Gun control remains a complex issue, and the legal back and forth is far from over. Stay tuned, folks. This ride's not slowing down anytime soon. Ninth Circuit Court blocks injunction. Hold on to your hats, folks, because the legal showdown over California's attack weapons ban just got even more interesting. It's like a courtroom drama on steroids. So picture this. A 3-judge panel from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals swoops in and says, not so fast. You see, U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez had issued an injunction that would have put the brakes on California's attack weapons ban, stopping it from taking effect while the whole case was under review. But this panel, they're the game changers. Divided in their opinions, they managed to put a temporary block on Judge Benitez's injunction. What does that mean? It means that the ban remains in force while everyone gets their legal ducks in a row and argues their case in the courts. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, Judge Benitez was the guy who threw the whole thing into chaos by declaring California's 30-year-old attack weapons ban unconstitutional. His ruling sent shockwaves through the gun control debate, but the 9th Circuit panel has stepped in to keep the status quo, at least for the time being. It's a classic case of legal ping-pong, with each side lobbing arguments back and forth. On one side, you've got the folks who believe that this attack weapons ban goes against the Second Amendment, the one that talks about the right to keep and bear arms. They think it infringes on that right. On the other side, you've got the gun control advocates who say it's a necessary move to keep the public safe. So what does this all mean for the average Joe on the street? Well, it means that the attack weapons ban remains in place, while the legal eagles fight it out in the courts. It's a temporary win for those who support stricter gun control laws, but it's just one round in a long and ongoing battle. The legal system is a fascinating beast, full of twists, turns, and surprises. This 9th Circuit panel decision is just another chapter in the story of California's attack weapons ban, and you can bet there'll be more drama to come. Stay tuned. California Attorney General appeals decision. Hold the phone, folks, because the legal battlefield over California's attack weapons ban just got a whole lot more interesting. Get this, California's Attorney General, a certain Rob Bonta, is stepping into the ring like a legal superhero to defend the state's gun laws. Here's the scoop. U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez recently made headlines by declaring California's 30-year-old attack weapons ban unconstitutional. That sent shockwaves through the Golden State and beyond. But Attorney General Bonta isn't having any of it. He's filed an appeal, and he's doing it with gusto, guns blazing. Figuratively, of course. What's the appeal all about, you ask? Well, it's basically Bonta saying, hold your horses, Judge. He's arguing that this attack weapons ban is critical for public safety, and he's not about to let it go without a fight. And you know it's a big deal when they're pushing for an expedited hearing.
The national gun death rate matched California's gun death rate.
That there is no rational reason that we would allow these weapons
Of our nation-leading common sense, data-driven gun laws and prevention policies that are intentional.
Let's look at the exempted list. You guys might want to get out the bill and check this. It exempts
Years, nearly 140,000 Americans who have died from gun violence would still be with us.
So what's the big picture here? Well, this appeal is a major win for those who support stricter gun control laws. They're cheering on Attorney General Bonta, hoping that he can convince the courts that the ban is necessary for public safety. But of course, the other side isn't about to back down. They believe the ban infringes on their Second Amendment's right. This is the legal system at its most dramatic, and it's far from over. The attack weapons ban is a hot-button issue, and it's got people on both sides fired up. Attorney General Bonta's appeal is like throwing a log onto the already blazing fire of the gun control debate. One thing's for sure, this battle is far from over, and there are bound to be more twists and turns in this story. So grab your popcorn and stay tuned. It's going to be a wild ride. Judge Benitez's ruling. Hold on to your hats because we've got some courtroom drama to dish about. On October 19th, U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez, hailing from San Diego, made a headline-grabbing ruling that set the gun control debate on fire. His verdict? Well, it was a game-changer to say the least. Judge Benitez delivered a decision that had gun rights advocates cheering from the rooftops. He declared that California's attack weapons ban violated the Second Amendment. That's the one about the right to keep and bear arms. In a nutshell, he said the ban was a no-go. But why was this such a big deal? Well, this attack weapons ban had been in place for 3 decades, and it was one of the strictest in the nation. It restricted the sale and possession of certain military-style firearms. So when Judge Benitez came along and said, nah, this ain't constitutional, it sent shockwaves through the gun control debate. He wasn't mincing words either. Benitez's decision argued that the ban was depriving law-abiding citizens of their rights to own certain firearms. This was music to the ears of those who believed that the Second Amendment should mean unfettered access to firearms. Now, it's worth noting that this wasn't the first time Judge Benitez had waded into the murky waters of gun control. In 2021, he compared an attack rifle to a Swiss Army knife, describing it as a perfect combo for both home defense and homeland defense. That ruling too got a lot of attention and caused quite a stir. But here's where it gets interesting. While Benitez's 2021 decision had folks talking, the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals took a look and said, "Not so fast, buddy." They vacated his order and sent the case back to Benitez for a re-evaluation. Fast forward to 2023, and he's at it again, with this ruling on the attack weapons ban. But the legal back and forth continues, and this case is far from closed. It's a classic example of how the US legal system works through checks and balances, with different courts and judges reviewing each other's decision. This is the stuff that legal thrillers are made of. The gun control debate rages on, and Judge Benitez's ruling is just one chapter in a much larger story. Stay tuned, because this isn't the last you'll hear of this battle. Ninth Circuit panel delays judge's order on attack weapons ban. Hold your horses, because things just got a whole lot more intriguing in the ongoing tussle over California's attack weapons ban. Enter the Ninth Circuit panel, a group of judges who recently stepped into the fray to put the brakes on Judge Roger Benitez's ruling. You see, Judge Benitez had set the cat among the pigeons by declaring California's attack weapons ban unconstitutional. But the Ninth Circuit panel, with a 2-to-1 majority, said, "Whoa, not so fast." They decided to stay his order, which essentially means they hit the pause button on his decision, preventing it from taking immediate effect. Why did they do this? Well, it's like a legal chess game. They looked at the whole board and made a strategic move. They cited a couple of key factors. First, they thought the state's attorney general had a pretty good shot at succeeding in the overall case. Second, they were concerned about the potential harm that California might face if the ban were lifted. In a nutshell, they saw the bigger picture. While Judge Benitez had made his ruling, the Ninth Circuit panel believed there were compelling reasons to keep things as they were while the legal battle continued. This legal tango is all about the Second Amendment, which is at the heart of the matter.
The greatest battle implement ever devised. Guess what? Not banned in this bill. The actual
as possible. They're not designed for recreation. They're designed for combat.
Well, the gun they're primarily going after in this bill is the AR-type firearm, which stands for
Of the need to protect our children. Perhaps they will be convinced of the need to protect
the M1 carbine, also not banned by this bill. A technical, literal.
The Second Amendment gives Americans the right to keep and bear arms, but what's up for debate is the extent to which a state can restrict that right for public safety. So what's the bottom line here? Well, the Ninth Circuit panel's decision is like a timeout in a heated game. It's a temporary victory for those who support the attack weapons ban and believe it's necessary for public safety. But it's not a checkmate. The legal battle will go on, and this is just one of the moves in a very complex game. The Ninth Circuit panel's decision adds another layer of intrigue to the ongoing gun control debate. And you can bet your bottom dollar there will be more twists and turns in this story. So don't change the channel, the drama's far from over. Attorney General Rob Bonta supports gun law in attack weapons ban case. Let's talk about a real heavyweight in California's corner in the fight over the attack weapons ban. None other than Attorney General Rob Bonta. This guy's a Democrat, and he's come out swinging in support of keeping these military-style firearms off the streets. So what did he do? Well, first off, he filed an appeal against Judge Roger Benitez's ruling that the attack weapons ban was unconstitutional. Bonta didn't just file any appeal. He did it with gusto, and he didn't mince words. He straight up called Benitez's decision dangerous and misguided. He wasn't holding back on his opinion, that's for sure. But Bonta's got a point of view, and he's sticking to his guns. Again, metaphorically speaking, of course. He believes that these so-called weapons of war don't belong in the hands of civilians, and he's got some strong backing for this argument, citing a recent mass slaying in Maine as a grim example of why stricter gun control laws are necessary. It's like a classic showdown, folks. On one side, you've got those who argue that the Second Amendment should grant citizens broad rights to own firearms, including attack weapons. On the other side, you've got folks like Bonta, who see these firearms as potential tools for mass destruction and want to keep them out of the hands of the public. This debate is like a tug of war, with both sides pulling hard and not willing to give an inch. And in the midst of it all is Attorney General Bonta, firmly in the camp of those advocating for stricter gun control laws.
Today, California's Attorney General has released a first-of-its-kind gun violence prevention report.
Safe, I'm proud to stand with you. I'm honored to fight with you. I thank you for being here today.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to Jerry Nadler.
Good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. Thank you for joining. Do we have gun violence at this level? Is only here. Do gun violence tragedies happen as frequently?
The attack weapons ban debate is far from over, and Attorney General Bonta's voice is just one in a chorus of many. But you can bet that his passion and commitment to the cause will keep this issue front and center on a legal and political stage. Stay tuned for more developments because this is a story that's far from reaching its final chapter. California's history with attack weapons ban. Time to take a little trip down memory lane, folks, and explore California's journey with the attack weapons ban. This is a story of pioneering change and resilience in the face of tragedy. Picture this, it's 1989, and California was at the forefront of a pivotal moment in US history. It became the very first state to say, enough is enough, and banned attack weapons. Why did they do this? Well, there's a heartbreaking reason behind it. A school mass laying took the lives of 5 children, leaving the entire nation in shock. California didn't want to be the state that sat idly by after such a tragedy, so they took action. But the story doesn't end there. The state wasn't satisfied with just taking that initial step. They wanted to ensure that they were doing everything in their power to protect their citizens. So in 1990, they decided to strengthen the attack weapons ban. What does that mean? It means they made the law even stricter. They raised the bar, adding more provisions and restrictions, all in the name of keeping dangerous firearms out of the hands of the public. It was a bold move, and California showed it was ready to take the lead on the issue of gun control. Fast forward to today, and this attack weapons ban is still a hot topic, drawing the attention of courts, politicians, and the public. It's a story that reflects California's history of progressive policies and a commitment to public safety. The attack weapons ban debate is far from over, and it's a battle that's been waging on for decades. But it's important to remember where it all began, with California's bold move to become the very first state to say, we won't let this happen again. It's a powerful reminder of the impact that a single tragic event can have on shaping the course of history. Attack weapons definition and restrictions in California. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of California's approach to defining and restricting attack weapons. The Golden State has taken some bold steps to tighten the leash on these firearms. First off, California isn't playing around when it comes to attack weapons. They place restrictions on practically every aspect of these firearms, whether it's making them, distributing them, transporting them, bringing them into the state, selling them, or even owning them. They've got their eyes on it all. But what exactly qualifies as an attack weapon in California's eyes? It's not just about the name or how it looks. These firearms are defined based on certain tactical enhancements or configurations. Basically, if a gun has features or modifications that could make it more dangerous to the public and increase the likelihood of criminal use, it falls under the attack weapon category. Some of these enhancements could include things like a detachable mag, a pistol grip, a flash suppressor, a folding or telescoping stock, or a grenade launcher. Yes, you heard that right, a grenade launcher. Those are definitely not your everyday firearms accessories. These restrictions are aimed at making it more difficult for individuals to get their hands on firearms that could potentially cause harm to the public. California's approach is all about public safety, and they're taking a proactive stance on the matter. But here's the catch. What's defined as an attack weapon can be a bit of a moving target. The regulations and definitions can change over time as lawmakers respond to evolving firearm technologies and safety concerns. So it's a dynamic and ever-evolving conversation that reflects the state's commitment to balancing Second Amendment rights with public safety. The debate around these definitions and restrictions isn't going away anytime soon, and it's just one part of a larger conversation about gun control in the United States. So stay tuned, because California's approach to defining and restricting attack weapons is a story that keeps on evolving.
Right, Rob Bonta is calling it a first-of-its-kind report. The newly formed Office of Gun Violence Prevention releases.
They are being treated equitably by law enforcement. It contributes to distrust and hurts public safety.
That's right. Under this bill, a conviction is not required. This will lead to bizarre consequences.
The submitted firearm brace, when attached to a firearm, does not convert that weapon to be fired from the shoulder and would not alter the classification.
Legal battles over California's attack weapons ban. The legal battle over California's attack weapons ban has been like a roller coaster ride, full of twists and turns, and the latest decision by U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez is just one loop in its ongoing journey. To truly understand the significance of this recent ruling, we need to step back and take a look at the broader legal context, including Judge Benitez's previous ruling in 2021 and the subsequent directives from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court. Judge Roger Benitez is no stranger to the gun control debate. In 2021, he made headlines with a ruling that declared California's attack weapons ban unconstitutional. This decision sent shockwaves through the state and reignited the heated discussion around the Second Amendment, which guarantees Americans the right to keep and bear arms. Benitez's ruling was seen as a significant victory for those who argue that such bans infringe upon that constitutional right. However, this victory was short-lived. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court, a federal appellate court that covers several western U.S. states, had a different perspective. The 9th Circuit directed Judge Benitez to take another look at the matter, effectively vacating his previous order. This action was a stark reminder of the checks and balances inherent in the American legal system. The 9th Circuit's decision to send the case back to Judge Benitez for further review was a crucial turning point. It highlighted the complexity of the issue and the divergent legal interpretations that can arise even within the same court system. This move indicated that the matter was far from settled and that additional legal scrutiny was needed. Fast forward to the present, and Judge Benitez is once again at the center of the storm, this time with a new ruling in 2023. In this ruling, he once more declared California's attack weapons ban unconstitutional, setting off a fresh wave of debates, discussions, and reactions. The legal process itself is a testament to the strength of the U.S. judicial system. It allows for disagreements and disputes to be examined, reconsidered, and debated extensively. It also showcases the enduring importance of the Second Amendment in the American legal and political landscape. The outcome of this legal battle remains uncertain. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court's involvement suggests that the issue may be far from resolved, and it's possible that it could eventually reach the U.S. Supreme Court, where the highest legal authority in the land would have the final say. Until then, the legal battles over California's attack weapons ban will continue to captivate the nation.
There are more than 116 gun deaths per day across the United States.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Dettelbach, the pistol brace is an accessory, right?
I and we choose to change the trajectory of where we've been and to end the gun violence.
Well, I've got here the actual original brace that this letter was responsive to.
Pistol, it can become a short-barreled rifle, and then is subject under the National Firearms Act. That's what you're saying.
Spark passionate debates and shape the trajectory of gun control policies, not only in California, but also across the United States. In the end, this legal saga is a microcosm of the broader discussion on gun control, individual rights, and public safety, and it serves as a reminder of the ongoing challenges in reconciling these complex issues within the American legal system. As the legal battles persist, so too does the national dialogue surrounding one of the most contentious issues in American society. High-capacity ammunition mag ban in California, recent ruling and appeals. The legal drama in California doesn't end with the attack weapons ban. It extends to the contentious issue of high-capacity ammunition mags. U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez, the same judge who declared the attack weapons ban unconstitutional, also ruled that California's ban on high-capacity mags was unconstitutional. This dual blow to California's gun control laws reverberated through the state, sparking legal battles and renewed debates over the Second Amendment. High-capacity mags, often defined as those capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition, have long been a point of contention in the gun control debate. Proponents of stricter gun control measures argue that limiting mag capacity can reduce the lethality of mass slayings and provide crucial moments for intervention by law enforcement or civilians. On the other side, gun rights advocates emphasize their Second Amendment rights and believe that restriction on mag capacity infringe on those rights. Following Judge Benitez's ruling on the high-capacity mag ban, the situation took a different turn compared to the attack weapons ban. While the 9th Circuit Court allows the high-capacity mag ban to remain in effect during the state's appeal, the same didn't apply to the attack weapons ban. This discrepancy in rulings and appeals highlights the complex and multifaceted nature of gun control laws and their judicial review. The differing treatment of these bans reveals the intricacies of the legal system and the nuances that come into play during these cases. Judges and appellate courts must consider the specific arguments and legal standards applicable to each law, leading to contrasting decisions and actions. The legal back and forth surrounding California's high-capacity mag ban is far from over. The fate of these laws will depend on the outcomes of the ongoing legal battles, the decisions on higher courts, and ultimately, their alignment with the Second Amendment's interpretation. It highlights the enduring and complex nature of the gun control debate, as well as the significance of legal interpretations and decisions in shaping public policy. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.